I know you want Joe Biden to win. Do you think that Haley or Trump would be easier to beat for him?
Well, first of all, I think she's one of our better surrogates, so I hope she stays in. Hope she does well tomorrow.
All the nasty stuff she says about Trump.
She's spot on 99% of it. So I'm enjoying this primary, and I hope it continues. So I wish her luck. But look, Trump's the nominee. We all know that. You know that. Everybody out there knows that. And I think the polls are suggestive. She's going to get well up tomorrow, and then she'll make a case, I guess, just to continue in this. But again, I have no problem with her continuing for as long as she wishes, because I think she's making a good case against Trump.
Head-to-head polls suggest that she would clean Biden's clock. Yeah. And it's a tougher race.
Trump's the nominee. Everybody knows Trump's the nominee.
So
there's not a state that, with respect, there's no evidence to suggest, there's no polling to suggest, there's nothing to suggest, momentum or otherwise, that she can win any state in the Republican primary coming up. So it's just not. Donald Trump is the nominee. Everybody knows that. No, and I don't mean that to be dismissive. I have respect for the former governor, a lot more than the former president, Donald Trump. But as I said, I wish her luck in the context of being out there and making the case that we're making against Donald Trump equally.
So you're also making a case for Joe Biden. You're trying to make a case for President Biden. A CNN poll of polls today finds Biden's average approval rating, his average approval rating is just 39%. Voters do not seem to see in President Biden what you see.
Yeah, I mean, we got to mind the gap between performance and perception, no doubt about it. When you have the lowest black unemployment, lowest unemployment for Hispanics, lowest unemployment for women in 70 years, one of the most significant jobs records of any president in a 3-year period in American history, more jobs being created and startups being started in this country, inflation now cooling and an economy continuing to boom. 39,000+ Dow. I mean, it's an extraordinary record. And we just have to make the case. And that's what campaigns are about. We're out there making that case.
Well, is he able to make the case the way that you are?
We all are making the case.
But is he able to do it the way you do, with the alacrity, the speed, the command?
Well, I was just with him. He's making a case for industrial policy, bringing back American manufacturing jobs and supply chains. He was talking about the CHIPS Act, the Science Act. He was talking about his bipartisan infrastructure bill. He was talking about what he wants to accomplish on the border as effectively or well than any of us. And I just had that privilege and opportunity to see that with governors from both the Republican and the Democratic Party. And of course, Democrats were out there applauding the president. The Republicans were sitting there confused that the president actually has a plan and agenda and compromise, which is what we want in a president, willing to compromise with the other party. But Republicans in Congress are refusing to move forward with that bipartisan immigration deal because of one person, Donald Trump. They care more about Trump's success than addressing this fundamental issue.
So if you were president, and I know you're not running, et cetera, but if you were president, you would sign that compromise into law? Because there are a lot of people on the left who don't like that compromise.
Well, look, it's the art of the deal. And the president was making the case with us just moments ago that he didn't get the Dreamers in there, didn't get a lot on the TPS, didn't get a lot of what he wanted, but it's the art of what's possible. And the bottom line is he called their bluff. He called their bluff. They're not interested in governing. It's all entertainment. It's performance. Donald Trump was on the phone lighting up potential supporters of that bipartisan deal, threatening them. That's the state of the Republican Party today. That's not Ronald Reagan's Republican Party. This is Donald Trump's Republican Party, and I think it's an abject shame. And I say that as a border state governor that needs the support, that would have been benefited from this bipartisan deal. $1.4 billion will go to cities and states. We're starting to shut down some of our migrant centers in the state of California. That's on the Republican Party. That's on Speaker Johnson. That's on Donald Trump.
So let's ask about that, because you are a border state governor. Immigration, huge topic today at the White House. Sources say the president is considering executive action to severely restrict migrants' ability to seek asylum at the southern border. Today, the Congressional Hispanic Caucus called that idea unbelievable and accused Biden of, quote, using immigrant communities as a political pawn. Would you support the executive action? Do you need that kind of relief?
None of us have the details of the executive action, so I'm not going to answer that specifically. But as it relates to addressing the issue of asylum, it needs to be addressed. With all due respect, the asylum system is broken. Yeah. We've been saying that consistently.
Do the standards need to be raised?
We need, incredible fear, absolutely. I don't think that. I know it. I experience it all the time. Remember, I'm the governor of the border state with the largest port of entry in the Western Hemisphere. We don't need to be educated on this topic. There's no doubt it's being gamed. Everybody knows that. It's how we fix it. I would prefer to fix it in a bipartisan deal, working with credible people on the other side, but they don't exist currently in the Republican Party. So to the extent he asserts himself from an executive prism, I understand why that brings up a controversial frame and stress. That said, at least applaud him for trying to assert himself. Of course, the courts will have more to say on that than any of us.